don't know, y'all. I'm struggling with this one, I won't lie. Hi, hello everyone, my name is Jer, and I took a 45-minute nap after this episode because I felt confused. I thought maybe I was still asleep, and so I had to go to bed just to make sure I woke up. But no, I don't want the cherry coke police to come for me again, so I got one last can. So y'all want more and get those super chats poppin'. Or better yet, you can support the Patreon. Patrons get early access to all my videos and some exclusive cut content that I do not include here on YouTube. Today we are talking about Canada's Drag Race All-Stars Episode 2, Song of the Summer. Combine Rebecca Black, a camp runway, girl groups, and a ton of drama, and you should have a great episode of Drag Race, right? Right? But something just didn't click for me. I found this episode to be jam-packed with interesting drama and content, but it was vastly overshadowed by what I perceived as poor judging. And I don't know what it is, because Canada's Drag Race has always been a safe space for me. It's a place that I know I can watch and there will be very little nonsense. Not saying there's no nonsense, because there are sometimes, but very little, minimal. Listening to judges' critiques, I found myself disagreeing left and right and wondering if I was watching the same show that they watched. And as it resolved, everything felt unsatisfactory. Unsatisfactory! As a Virgo and a Latino, I am usually very happy when I'm right about things. But me being correct about Pythia getting the Soa Demuse treatment, going out as early as Soa did after having been on Global All-Stars, kind of doesn't feel good at all. It's like, well, I don't feel good that I was right about that. I wanted to be wrong. It just sucks being right all the time. And I've made it no secret that I'm a massive fan of Jada Hudson, but her edit this week did not paint her in the most brilliant light. And I don't know, so much of this episode just felt kind of wrong. The week begins with the queens learning how the vote shook out last week, learning that Jada and Sami both voted to keep Jackie there. And even if this caused some commotion with Juicebox, I think their reasoning was valid. Nira seemed to connect some dots that she made some critical errors in judgment last week when she blew up at all of her alliances, and she has made a lot of course corrections this week and mostly tried to stay in her lane. For the mini challenge, the queens participated in a game of soccer where they had to be the goalie. I loved soccer as a kid, and I had a great time watching this challenge. Typically, when they have them do sporty mini challenges, it brings out all this weird toxic masculinity from the queens, and it's kind of funny to watch. I think all the time about that stupid game of basketball that they did. I think it was in All-Stars 1. That was tea. And Tiffany was slaying me, acting all puss, but then losing her wig. And Nira being the sports sensation was not on my bingo card, but she did do best in this challenge, and as the winner, got to be one of 2 team captains for the girl group Maxi. The other captain being Pythia, since she won last week's challenge. And their goal is to create the ultimate summer bop. And with the options provided to them, I don't know if that's going to be the case. The teams shake out as Nira, Aurora, Tiffany, and Juicebox. The other team being Pythia, Sami, and Jada Hudson. And since Jada was the last kid picked in the school lineup, she gets to choose which song they're going to perform, and she chooses Body Tea. Only hearing a quick description of what it was and not the actual song, I think this was arguably the worst of the two. But I do really love that they gave Jada some agency over which song they were going to perform, because typically the last picked just ends up feeling bad about themselves that no one wanted them on a team. And so I think this soothes the burn just a little bit. In rehearsals, we're privy only to a little bit of information, that some of the queens are struggling with the choreo, but what happens off camera is the juicy bit of this entire episode. And it always makes me feel funny when we don't get any of that B-roll footage or when we don't hear what happened. We know that these queens are mic'd pretty much all the time. I think it would have helped the general storytelling if we had just a little bit of that raw mic footage, because Jada, according to the others, was being difficult in rehearsals and made Michaela cry several times. And having all this drama be on the back burner made Jada's top placement that much more unsatisfying, especially because we saw Michaela comfort Jada at the beginning of the episode, telling her, I don't think you should vote that way again. I think you should protect yourself and look out for your best interests. And so it seemed via the edit that Michaela was trying to be a good friend, and then Jada backstabbed her behind her back. That's obviously not one for one what happened, but the magic of the TV edit condenses all of 48 hours into one compact hour. And so we're left with very specific context clues and progression of a story. And lastly, on the runway, the queens have to present a camp look. I love camp. Love camp. A definition of camp is an aesthetic and sensibly that regards something as appealing or amusing because of its heightened level of artifice, affectation, and exaggeration, especially when there's also playful or ironic elements. My personal definition of camp is something that is over-exaggerated, something very not serious, and teetering on bad taste. The way that the judges were deliberating this runway was almost as if they were expecting the looks to be huge and big, but that's not necessarily what camp is about. Scale does play an important element in camp, but it's not the most important piece. It's about its boldness, so I felt that the phrasing was also a little odd. And generally with my scoreboard, as well as the judges' critiques, I struggled with deliberations. I'm the type of person that believes that if your success in a group is determined by your group members, then you all should be judged together. Say in a girl group challenge, you all should be judged together. But in an acting challenge where maybe you're just incidentally with other people and it's not super critical that they are also contributing to your role, I'm okay with those being judged individually. Or if someone in your group is such a standout and someone else in your group is so bad, that's when you should break everyone up. And in my opinion, there were successes and failures on both teams equally. I don't think either group was so perfect that they deserved a top placement, and I don't think one group was so bad that they deserved a bottom placement. And so I'm kind of okay with breaking up the groups. Also, as a sidebar, I've decided to adjust my scoreboards going forward. Previously, I was ranking everyone from 1 to however many contestants were left in the room. Now I'm just doing every single category gets a 1 to 10 score. Again, that scoreboard is completely free on Patreon. If you want to go check that out, I keep those updated weekly with these reviews. So let's get into my placements as we do every week. For the hairy chest lovers, in 8th place is Pythia. In this challenge, I found Pythia stiff. Her choreo lacked musicality. Like, do you not feel that shit deep down into your bones? Her movements were not strong, her lip sync was loose, kinda like your vagina. I enjoyed her lyric, Face Divine, Body Carved from Marble. It was a great callback to her finale lip sync in season 2, where she was dressed as a marble statue. She had a lot of bitches in her lyrics.
Oh, wait a minute, bitches.
I'm not a prude or anything. I love cursing.
I actually do cuss a little.
But I kind of want you to pepper that into your lyrics or into your set. I don't want to hear it every other word, certainly not as an end of sentence punctuation. I also hated her performance look. It was very housewife reunion or something, and I didn't like the fuzz on the hips. This early 2000s John and Kate +8 hair was doing nothing for me. She lacked so much confidence and presence in the group, and that's abnormal for Pythia, and I found her overall awkward to watch. And on the runway, looking camp right in the eye, Pythia is presenting this rotten Cleopatra look. I love that corpsey green makeup. It's very fun, very silly, and not to be a complete but this look reminds me of the Bob Mackie Goddess of the Americas Barbie a little bit. Maybe more so that than Egyptian. I love this silhouette, but it's not really camp to me. And I think a lot of these looks were not super camp. It's conceptual, it's interesting, it's kooky, but I don't think it's pushing that over-exaggeration, that subversion, or even excess that much. A character costume, I think, is hard to make camp because you want to stay close to the original reference point, but you need to just make everything grand in its scale to the point where it's a little ridiculous. The green makeup is there. Had there been tackier jewels, had there been even more exaggerated wings with more stuff on it, push the envelope a bit more, I think it would have done more on the runway. And I think this is a 1 out of 10 on the Campometer in my personal opinion. It's a soft chop to me for the category, but I like it. In my 7th position is Juicebox, who revealed that she wanted to be a dad this week. I love when men have the spirit of fatherhood because as someone who only has that in the bedroom, I don't want any kids around me. I don't want to have any kids. I love that there are men out there who want to father. In the challenge, I thought Juice was very fun to watch, maybe for the wrong reasons. Sorry, I don't mean to be hateful. She was a bit awkward. She was a bit stiff. It was a bit Darian Lake in that All Stars 8 performance. Not because she was so technically good, but because she was just kind of silly to watch. I had fun with the performance, but it wasn't good. I hated the look. It was much more nightwear to me than girl group. I think it desperately needed a skirt on it. Her presence overall was fine, but her lyrics just didn't say or do anything to me. I mean, hell, even Xana gave us, "We're not friends, you're a means to an end." Like, it doesn't make sense, but at least it's memorable. And on the runway, Juice is not giving me camp at all. You know when men go to the Met Gala and they'll wear just a plain, unfitted tuxedo, they'll stick a colorful flower on it and go, oh,
no, I can't.
That was this look. I like that it's an homage to her parents' prom that's very sweet. That pop of red, divine under all that white, but it's a generic suit pattern. She said this was a bell-bottom suit, but that needed to be flared at the bottom. I needed that huge, a foot longer all the way around. The tails of the coat needed to be another yard or two at minimum longer. Shoulders needed to be bigger. It's missing a lot of that excess and drama that camp requires. It's not good, it's not bad, it's just nice. Soft slay. In my 6th position, baby it is still giving ghost, is Jada Shada Hudson. I was baffled at her top placement this week, and I say that as a stan. Jada visually was my favorite look in the girl groups overall. I loved that sculpted hair, the bodysuit had a clean silhouette, but that corset was maybe a bit unnecessary. Her lyrics also didn't do much for me, which is why her score is lower. And this guy, Frank, catching strays. He's out there watching like, huh? Now why am I in this? On the runway, Jada, my queen. Girl, is this camp? It's kitschy for sure, but camp it is not. Camp does not mean crazy. It can. Why is Miss Girl a chicken? I hate this. She was very funny in presentation. I liked her walk. Those chicken shoes must be on bulk sale or something. Someone had those. Most recently in season 18. I swear I saw those chicken feet. There's these years where certain costume details just, I think, go viral in the drag community and everybody buys it. I don't like this at all though. The gold is super distracting on the look, the hair is a mess. Chop, chop, chop. Again, not camp, very kitsch, but it's not good. Next, in my 5th position is the winner of the challenge this week, and that's Aurora Matrix. And I know I keep saying I love Aurora, and I do. I just loved others more than her this week. In the challenge, Aurora's body tea was hot. Her movement was everything. I didn't get a lot from her verse though. To me, it was very incomplete Gen Z thoughts, and maybe it's just me as a millennial not being able to keep up with the incomplete sentences. But you know when Gen Zers are like,
oh, that's not.
What? It's not what, babes?
Oh, but that.
But what? Finish the thought. There are more words that come after. With my sisters feeling messy, another night with Miss Aurora. I'm already lost at the through line. Catch us stunting round the block till this drink it kinda tastin' like a flirt with men, yeah, this pussy posse 10. Huh? What's the drink taste like? Like flirting with men? Why is the pussy posse 10? How does that have to do with the drink? What does that have to do with being messy and another night with Aurora? Break the rules, starting trends, babe, this party never ends. These lyrics are an exploration of consciousness, and I fear I'm lost. But on the runway, baby, this is camp. Aurora is presenting this fierce lamp look. I live, laugh, love that little lamp underneath the big lamp. That was amazing. She ate this up. I am quite literally in love with those intricate sleeves that ruche down into the flamenco wrists. The inclusion of the beads on the legs are giving me life. This was the campiest look of the night, hands down, super slay, and I'm pretty sure this look is why she was in the top. I just did not connect with the lyrics at all, even if her performance was good. In my 4th position is Tiffany & Co. Tiffany had a great line that I enjoyed. This gorgeous whore with the vocal fry. Me too. Tiffany had great rhythm. I love the way that she moved. Her face was disconnected from everything though. I feel like Tiffany thinks that she's giving puss severity in the mug, but it's just a little flat, and I have that same problem too. The costume she was wearing is super intricate and complicated. It conceivably could be a music video look, and I'm obsessed. I think her biggest crime in this challenge was just not being exciting, but she performed really well. And on the runway, her story is that she was read for filth on her season for all her bodysuits, so she is now doing a suit with a body on it. Girl, this is camp. I don't care what Jimbo said. This look is precisely what I was hinting at with Juice. If you're gonna do just a simple men's cut tuxedo, or a suit, you have to figure out some way to glam it up, to make it exciting, to make it excessive. There are exaggerations in the shoulders and the sleeves. That hand painting is luxe. I love the glitter choice. The ribbons are doing it for me. That fascinator is fascinating. It's a very simple image of camp, but it is camp nonetheless. And to flip the script and do a suit body, sick. I love that. This look is a slay. In my third position is Michaela Couture. Y'all are so damn funny the way y'all talk about Michaela's strategy this season because she wants to eliminate the strongest competitor. We've seen how many seasons of Drag Race where all of the weakest competitors go home early and only the strongest make it to the very end, and how formulaic that's become. Y'all live for All Stars 2 where they knock out the strongest competitors in the game. Y'all say, oh, they played their game so well, they got out Alyssa and Tatiana and Coco so early. We live that Roxy was so iconically bad all season and she should not have made the finale, but yes, work. But then here a lot of y'all have a problem. Make it make sense. I think it's a valid strategy. If you have someone that is a strong competitor in the bottom, you beat them if you send them home. That is beating the best. If you have an opportunity to steal a star from Yoshi, who's in first place, you don't steal it from Mario, who's only got one. That doesn't help you. Girl, I can't. Michaela's dance moves to me were jaw-dropping. I found her performance overall to be present, consistent. Her bottom placement was such a head-scratcher to me because I kept looking at Michaela. She did not get lost in the mix. That was such a weird critique. I liked her line, serve me on a plate cause bitch I'm for dinner, cause me too. I don't have a lot of notes regarding the performance. She looked good, she sounded good, she moved good. This was solid. My eyes were on her almost the entire time. I love the way that she glided through a lot of those dance moves, and considering that she took the reins on a lot of this and had to deal with the drama of Jada not being able to connect with it, I think that also boosts her score a little bit. And on the runway, Michaela was serving us dandyism. I'm obsessed with this color of pink on her. I think the red overcoat was maybe not the most cohesive to me. She looked sickeningly sexy in the shape. Camp is all about subversion, yeah? Suits are traditionally perceived as something masculine. So taking what is considered that, subverting it, and also dyeing it pink and creating this very interesting silhouette, adding the pearls, the flowers, it all makes it a bit softer. So it checks all those marks. And then the scale is nice. I think the only thing is that it maybe needed to be hit with a quick steam before it went out on the runway because there were parts that were wrinkly. Otherwise, this is a very solid slay. In my second position is Sami Landry. Sami was discussing with Jada early in the episode potentially knocking out the strongest competitor because Van and Ebony got to the very end of their competition by being strategic. So Sami is taking notes. Unfortunately, I do think that Sami is way too kind and generous of a person to ever intentionally sabotage someone who's doing well. She's a sweet soul, and I think that she will always try to play as fair as possible. When I was not looking at Michaela, I was looking at Sami. I loved her look in this black pleather over the animal print. That was hot, even down to the hair, to match the outfit. That was a great detail, the little red streaks. I'm very curious what the blue outfit was because I'm certain that they were given prompts ahead of time. Bring a blue and bring a red look in these exact shades. These will be for girl groups. So of everyone, I would love to know what Sami's blue looked like. She followed the body tee theme pretty closely. She talked about loving the skin you're in, being thinner, not allowing the haters to get to her. I do like messages of positivity when it comes to Drag Race lyrics. The problem is that it's not particularly illuminating. And on the runway, please, this is so funny. Having her mug on both sides of the dress is so deeply unwell, but I live, girl. She said her vibe was going for those ants who post a meme on Facebook that is very clearly AI. This looks like an AI generated photo. I'm sure it's not, but it looks like it. I love that the front and back are day and night. It is so tacky. This has absolutely terrible taste, but this is pure, unadulterated camp down. It looks like one of those religious memes that somebody would post and say, Jesus is love, Jesus is light, super slay. And then in my number one position, the drama of the season is Nira Nuff. Nira was giving me sex worker Jennifer Coolidge, and that also was not on my bingo card, but I'm gonna tack it on there in my free space. I was living the whole time. She had my favorite lyrics of the entire night. Give me your card so I can swipe. Ass is fat and face is right. Take it home, make this kitty purr. Wake up in the morning, misdemeanor. bitch. The entire joke is that she's a sex worker and the person who slept with her wakes up in the morning and realizes that they committed a crime by paying her. I'm dead. It's so good. Her dance moves were also amazing. She was present in a way that nobody else was. She was eye-catching, and I love the way that she glided through each one of those moves. But then on the runway, Nira is serving Birds of Paradise the flower. I don't love this, but I don't hate it either. The shape is a bit floppy to me in the back. It is certainly towing that line of bad taste. So, camp in many ways. It's meant to defy your expectations of what your brain thinks will look aesthetically pleasing. So in a lot of ways, it is checking those boxes for me. I do love these colors on her. Her waist is cinched. It's a slay of a look. A very soft one. When it came to the girl group songs, I wish that the composition of both of them were a bit more even. Diva Down was very clearly the more theatrical and interesting composition, where Body Tea was boring. Both of these songs are riffing off of popular memes. Diva Down, Girl Your Body is Tea. But do those concepts translate well into a song? Judging off these, I don't believe so. Nirasami and Juice being called safe kind of set off the night on a poor trajectory. This is odd because Canada's Drag Race is usually solid with its judging decisions. I think that Nira would have been a strong story win this week because she was in the bottom last week. She came back, course corrected, and did well. Michaela, Pythia, and Tiffany being the bottom queens didn't completely make sense to me. I thought it was insane that they lived for Jada but then didn't like Tiffany. And Michaela getting all of those bogus critiques were shocking and confusing to me. It was like they misread their notes and all of the negative critiques were supposed to be for Jada and the positive ones were supposed to be for Michaela because those had to have been swapped. Nothing made sense for either one of them. And I was gagged that they loved Jada's runway. And in Untucked, the girls were activated. This season has such good interpersonal drama among the queens in a way that we don't always see in Canada's Drag Race. Pythia was not fighting very hard for her spot. I think she thought, oh well, I'm obviously the top dog here. You want to keep me here, so you keep competing with the best of the best. I think was lousy strategy. And out of nowhere, Michaela has her Lux Noir London moment where she's complimenting everybody else from her group and then guns for Jada and is like, by the way, you kind of suck for leaving me out to dry in this challenge. The two of them got into it. And on one hand, that's fierce, but on the other hand, that is terrible strategy for when your fate literally lies in someone's hands. That is a steam about this until tomorrow, and then air it out when y'all are sitting on the couch or at the round table and allow that to play out through the day so that your tension can heal by the end of it. You don't do that right before someone's about to vote. It was very Chanel in Scream Queens at the very end when she tells the jury that they're all stupid and they're idiots and they change their vote from not guilty to guilty. Like, girly, self-preservation just a little bit, come on. And Tiffany gave me life, seeing that Michaela was doing what she was doing and Pythia was doing what she was doing. Tiffany's like, are you sure that you want to save two people that have made it to the end? Don't you want to save someone who's not a threat to you? Like, yes, you better minimize yourself. You better be self-aware, but also like, I don't know, I think Tiffany's a threat in her own way. Don't minimize yourself that much, girl. Y'all may hate it, but I thought it was fierce. Yeah, the girls just don't want to beat the best. If the best is in the bottom, then they beat them by getting them out. Sip on that tea, Betty. The winner of the challenge is called as Aurora, and I think of the two that were available in the top, Aurora was the right choice. Between her and Jada, yeah, Aurora's the undeniable winner. And the queens overall decided to save Tiffany and Co. Gagger, leaving the two allies Pythia and Michaela to lip sync to Rebecca Black's iconic song, Trust. Someone in production was listening to me when I specifically asked several times for Rebecca Black to appear on Drag Race somewhere and for them to do a Trust lip sync. I have wanted this or Salvation since that album dropped, but girly, I was disappointed. Michaela was consistent all lip sync, she had great energy and movement, but Miss Girl did not know a lot of these words. Worse than that, Pythia was a jellyfish? That was a nuts decision, it was non sequitur, and that reveal to the fish tits? Okay, but why? To Trust? By Rebecca Black? Pythia was giving me Hokey Pokey Jimbo in that Hallucinate lip sync where she got obliterated by Jasmine Kennedy. Michaela wasn't obliterating Pythia, she was just doing better. I need this song to be redone in Drag Race All-Stars 33 versus the World between Laganja Estranja and Juicy Love Dion because the two of them would kill this number. Michaela is called as the winner, which I completely agree with, and Pythia is unfortunately out here, which is such a gag. That was also not on my bingo card. It's the Soa Demuse treatment, and I hate it. It doesn't feel good to be right. And next up is a design challenge where I was expecting a ball to happen. It's such dramatic irony when a queen gets eliminated right before a challenge that they would have slayed. Crazy town. I feel funny about this week, even if I'm not terribly upset about the outcome. The journey to get there was not my most favorite, especially for this franchise, which I normally expect to be consistent, and I fear that this is the result of having an all drag queen panel. Mother Tracy would have grounded this season, and maybe we needed her. What did y'all think about this episode? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to check out my Drag Race All Stars 11 finale video. I will be covering Drag Race Down Under versus the World, and I'm going to try to get to my front's runway ranking very soon. Keep an eye out for all of those things. Thank you all for watching. I will see y'all on the flip.